Everyone, Steve here, deploying the line, and I'm back. I'm still not fully recovered, but I'm probably like 80% there, 70% there. So I decided we can get back on the saddle and start making stuff again. And this weekend, I just went to the ATC Florida team event. See by the title, I personally placed first as an overall placement for singles, and our team did really good though overall. So throughout this video, I'm going to go over the whole event, how my team did, my team's comp, the enemies comps, our pairings, all that jazz I usually do on these team videos, team tournament videos. So tune in for that. I'm going to put timestamps in the bottom so I can skip to specific sections if that's what you're interested in. So before we begin, please, the normal stuff. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Helps a lot. Especially for a new guy like me. If you need any coaching assistance in anything that you need, for singles, for teams, or specific armies, for general sense, hit me up in the Discord. My Discord information is pinned in every video. So just send me a PM on Discord. My name is just my name on Discord, Steve Trimble. All right, now we got that out of the way. Let's begin. First, like I said, it was the ATC Florida event 2026. I went to this last year where we won, which is kind of fun. So we're running it back with a new group. And see by the group, I'm wearing our shirt. We are the Warped Dust Crusaders. It's a new team that just came in, and we just grouped up, and we're having a great time. Here's the overall placements of the tournament. I got first for overall singles placement, followed by John Lennon and Nick A. And then the actual event was kind of a two-way tie, dealt by tiebreakers. These are both like sub-Art of War teams. We had the main Art of War team headed by Nick Dalvadi, and the second one with people like John Lennon and Jack Harpster in it. They got second, and then we, as the World Crusaders main team, got third, and then followed by As We Rise Down. And then the Florida Republic is my group of friends with like a Morgan and a Garrett and such, as you guys have seen before. All right, here's a little picture of the group. We got Brian, Dan, Ethan, me, the very tall one, and Nick. Exhibiting trophies. OS and a couple else guys, extra ones. This is the overall trophy, and then this is our team trophies. Alrighty. All right, so let's get our team comp, and then we'll get to the list, all that jazz. Our team. We got me playing Towns of the Emperor Custodes. Daniel playing Blade of Ultramar Marines. Nick playing Star Shatter Necrons. Ethan playing Cavalite Cartel Drukhari. And finally, Brian playing Berserker Warband World Eaters. So my list. This is a very simple list. You've seen it before on the channel. You've seen it before on the internet because I didn't make this list. So I will say that it is 3 squads of 5 Custodian Guard and 3 squads of 4 Custodian Guard, all with a shield and Vexilla. 2 squads of 4-man, I guess they're ladies, prosecutors. Those are the Bolter sisters. 2 squads. It says 5. It is 4. 2 squads of 4 lady witch seekers, which are the flamer ones. 3 land raiders, Carrier Draxus, and a single inquisitor, a normal one, not a named one. And then Dan on Blade of Ultramar. He's got a lieutenant with combi weapon, Calgar, Uriel Ventress, 1 squad of intercessors, 2 Redemptors with Plasma, 2 Repulsor Executioners, out the normal loadouts, 1 Scout Squad, 1 Hammerstrike Storm Speeder, 2 squads of Vetrix Guard, 1 has the banner and blade, I just didn't write it, 1 squad of Wardens of Ultramar. Nick, playing Star Shatter. He's actually playing the exact same list that I played at Cherokee the week before. He didn't really want to change anything. He just used my models. It dealt me well there. Speaking Cherokee, that is the next non-gameplay video I will be making due to this event and me being profusely sick with laryngitis the last week. And as you can still hear, I still kind of have it. I could not make the video, but that should be coming soon, hopefully this week, if not this weekend. So yeah, back to the list. Silent King, Deceiver, the Nightbringer, Hexmark with Chrono and Pedian's Field. It's -1 damage enhancement. Necrosaur, Technomancer with Demanding Leader. It's the fallback and shoot enhancement. A Reanimator, 2 Tomb Crawlers to go with the race, and then the race, a DDA, 5 Flayed Ones, and 1 Locust. Heavy, normal, sure, not heavy. Then Ethan on Cavalite Cartel. He's playing Drukhari, so we still got some Drukhari content here. I was not playing Drukhari. Speaking of that, I don't feel that Spectral Spite and such is too viable in 5-mans, especially on the terrain format they picked out, which was tables 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So incredibly shooting favored, and 8 also has a board that makes it shooting favored too. So not really favorable to Spectacle Spite. Spectacle Spite can potentially get pinned, not easily, but it can, which I didn't feel very strongly going into it. And Ethan plays Drukhari, so not a win-win. I would like to play Spectacle if I can, but them's the breaks. So we got an Archon with Informant Network. That's the Infiltrate Enhancement. A normal Archon. Drazar, at least both have House Blades. Malice, 1 10-man Cavalite, 1 10-man Hand. 2 squads of small Hellions. 2 squads of small Incubi. 1 Mandrake squad. 2 Ravagers with Incinerator Cannons. 3 squads of Darkland Scourges. 1 3-man Reaver. And 4 Venoms. And finally, Brian on the Berserker Warband World Eaters. He's playing Berserker Spam. He's got Karn, 2 Lords and Juggernauts, 1 Lord of Cause, 60 Berserkers in 20-mans, and 10 more Berserkers in a 10-man. 2 squads of Spawn, 1 Goremonger, and 1 Jackal squad. So that is our team comp. So speaking of the team comp, let's go back a little bit so I can talk about things. I guess it doesn't say it. I'll stay here. So our plan usually was I was like the ambiguous one. I was there to attack into people. People were hypothetically scared of Custodes, and that would let us get better matchups elsewhere. You know, we attack with me and someone we actually want to match up with. That'd be good. Brian was usually our heavy defender. Ethan was there to just... In reality, Ethan was there to take the shitty matchups. She did it quite well. And he went there knowingly. That was kind of his job. Drukhari's Cavalry Cartel's not the best army in the game. So I was like, Ethan, you're probably just gonna have to take the shitty matchups. Otherwise, if he didn't have that role, his role was to kill, tank armies. Having so much Scourges and Incinerator Cannons, that makes sense. And then finally, Nick and Dan were just playing the OP armies, just doing what they, no specific role, but Star Shatter is good into almost any army in the game. It can play any role, defending or attacking. Same thing will play to Ultramar. So we had a lot of role flexible armies that could all heavy defend or heavy attack if they needed to be. All right, round 1. As you see, this is us on the top. We started with Brian dropping first, and they dropped Eldari first. Yes. And then in turn, I can't tell exactly what we attacked into each. I can't remember what each thing we tacked into, but eventually, Ethan, we tacked whatever into Drukhari. Ethan said he could handle it, scores as some amount of points as possible. Same thing, they attacked our world leaders. Same thing with Brian, said he could attack it. That world leader list is like a pretty normal MSU world leaders list with like a lander and such. And the next pairing, we decided to drop Nick on the Necrons next. We felt like he could fight into any army and take out some of the annoying ones that potentially Dan didn't want to face. And then they dropped Death Guard, and then that was just me and Dan into them, and then they accepted me. And finally, that left Dan and their Drukhari to fight it out in the end. I think they accepted me because, one, I think the Death Guard felt like he had a decent matchup to me with Death Shroud and such, and that Reaper's Wager really does not want to fight 30 Custodian Guard and 3 Land Raiders. I tell you, as a Drukhari player, that's awful. All right, and then we get into the matchup. We won. We had a little bit of upsets, but a couple of the carries. One thing we'll say about this, they only had 4 players, sadly. So Nick just had a draw. Oh, that's also what happened. They just threw the town to Nick because they didn't want anyone to play Star Shatter. Give him the automatic 20-0 anyways, and the rest of the team could get a better matchup. But their player slept in. He showed up late, so Nick got a free win. Me, as we can see, I fought the Death Guard and 20-0'd it. Dan had a small win into Drukhari. And Brian got stomped in the mirror. So what Brian essentially said is it was coin flippy due to the opponent making an insanely high amount of fire on deaths. Brian said he like charged first. The opponent made most of their fire on deaths and like would wipe 20 berserkers off the face of the earth on Brian's own turn, and that was really bad. And then into the Ethan game, this was a very, very heavy Windrider host list. I think Ethan slightly under expected how much shooting, strength 6 heavy bolter shooting it had. He still scored a 5, which was fine because those are very hard to counter. But that is why the score was quite low on that end. All right, so my opponent was John playing the index type detachment called Virulent Victorium. He had 1 Biologic Putrefier, 2 Lords of Contagion, Tallyman, 1 Plague Marine squad in the Rhino, 2 giant 6-man Death Shroud squads, 2 Mower drones, 1 Blight Launcher drone, 2 solo Mephitic Blight Haulers, and 2 10-man Poxwalkers in his list. We'll get to the score. You see, 20-0. I scored 99. He scored 40. So some goofy things happened on here. Oh, and we're also playing Purge the Foe. I think I got to pick this. We defended first. And second. Oh, I guess I defended first here. The order might be weird. I don't remember. I can't remember if I defended this or not. Sorry. I think if I had the choice, I would have picked the Purge the Foe. But I don't remember. But we played Purge the Foe. So what happened though, is we'll get into the pictures, is John failed all his 6-inch Steep Strike charge with the Death Shroud, which made an already hard matchup pretty much impossible, as you can see by all the points I got. Then we'll get to the game. Here's the deployment. This is a very normal deployment for 3 Land Raiders on Hammer and Anvil. He puts a Poxwalkers to try and stop me, stuff like that. Turn 1, he drew recover assets. I did that. Having target secure no man's. So his plan was to try and potentially charge these Poxwalkers in and get some value there. But since he drew tempting target, they had to come down here and score that. So they kind of just stood there. This is kind of skipped over the turn. I apologize. But what I did was I just moved my models up. Land Raider moved here. And then a Custodian Squad over here moved up here. I killed these Poxwalkers. I moved my Land Raider here, and I moved a Land Raider here. I just moved a couple models up. And then when he got to his turn, like I said, he put a 6-man Death Shroud here to try and 6-inch charge me. He failed the 6-inch rerollable. He moved some other random models here and there. Bada bing, bada boom. Not a lot happened on his turn 2. He scored, he got Assassination Display Might. He just got his Display Might, not Assassinate. He might have discarded it. I think he did for Extend. And just scored some points, got 1 kill. I can't remember what he killed, maybe some sisters or something. Oh, it was just a hold. He didn't even get a kill, sorry. Yeah. This was bad for him. But then on my turn, this is my turn too. I essentially disembarked all my Custodian cards, as you can see. I shot this 6-man almost fully death and charged and then killed it. I just moved my Poxwalk, my Land Raiders up, fought them and killed them. Boom, ba-doo, ba-doom. And then on the next turn, right here, this is where my models come in. This is, as you see, this is a Death Shroud. Oh, his Rhino is here. I killed the Rhino with shooting. Sorry, we skipped it. Let's see. Did I find his Rhino? Rhino moved up here. After I moved up, he just stayed there for another turn. I shot the Rhino to death and then charged the Plague Marines with some Custodians. Or, and actually, never mind. I shot both the Rhino and the Plague Marines to death. One thing I will say, I kind of forgot to take as much pictures in these games. I apologize. So I'm trying to reiterate from memory. So I killed the Plague Marines essentially for free because I killed them. I fully killed the Rhino and the Plague Marines the same turn. But then he brought down his Death Shroud again on turn 3 and failed another 5-inch charge. And that kind of sealed the game. As you can see, this is his last Death Shroud squad. I'm chopping it up to death. He has no models left alive. This is like turn 3. As you can see, I score. He essentially died on turn 3. That was the game. It was some unfortunate things for him. I will say making those 6-inch charges would have made it better. It just means I would have lost 2 more squads of guard. It fundamentally wouldn't have changed the game a lot. His list is incredibly unfavored into mine. Because it was very easy killing all the drones and all the other random stuff in his list. while staying completely safe with reactive moves and such like that. So yeah. So round 2. Spoiler, these should be in the other order, but we paired into, as you can see, the Florida Lions, which is kind of the Art of War team with John Lennon, Tucker, Jack. So kind of unfortunate round 2. So we started with Brian as we usually did. They attack, and they started with Jack on Eldar. I don't remember who we attacked him, but it was definitely Dan, as we see, and probably me. It was probably me and Dan. And then they accepted Dan. I don't think Jack wanted to play Custodes too much, and he felt like the Ultramarines was kind of an easy matchup. And then I talked to Brian. I'm like, Brian, do you think you can handle John in any situation at all? Oh no, actually, I think what it was, sorry. Did we start with Brian? Yeah, they attacked with John and someone else. Might have been the Knights. Probably was the Knights. It's probably freaking Dustin. And I'm like, can you handle John at all? He's like, yeah, I could probably handle him. He could not handle him. It's fine. Brian, in addition, to John Lennon being John Lennon, his list is very good into 70 Berserkers. Is what it is. And then that, and then our next drop was I think we dropped Ethan first, because then they went first. This time we went first. The second time, then they went first. Yeah, we dropped Ethan. Just because we wanted, specific matchup stuff, and they definitely gave us something around here. Knights and probably guard. I can't remember how any of this happened. I'm sorry. All I remember that finally I just got scrumped, as I always. Yeah, because I definitely didn't attack this round. Yeah, I didn't attack this round. I know this accidentally happened. As much as you can on 5s, kind of the issue with 5s. Maybe this is out of order. Sorry, I don't remember. I'm playing Admech. We're just gonna get to that. Here's the matchups I'm playing Admech. I can't exactly remember how it went down. I can only remember the first pairings. And we're on Hurst Layout 6 Search and Destroy, as you can see, on Hidden Supplies 2, which Hidden Supplies is kind of quite good for me if I can get out of jail mode. All right. So here's the matchups. Everyone else got crushed. I won, sadly. Jack beat up Dan. Tucker, he's Tucker's playing Recon Guard, and he played in Star Shatter. I'm pretty sure these guys were the forgotten one. I think this is the 5th one. I might have defended here. I don't know why I'm back here, though. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Ethan played Dustin. We kind of psyched Dustin out a little. It was kind of funny. I kept telling him Ethan was going to beat the crap out of him. So Dustin actually reserved one of his knights. And Dustin probably would have beat him even harder if he kept all 5 on the board. But a 4 into Dustin winning like 20-0s, a lot of people is quite good, especially for this type of army. I beat Bryce, and then Brian got eaten by John. All right, so Bryce playing Hale's Greed. So Call, Scatros, a Manipulus with Sanctified Ordnance. That's just the +6 inch range enhancement. I think it rerolls Hazardous too. 2 squads of Rangers, Dune Rider, which is a transport. 1 squad of Electro Piece, which are the Jazz Hands guys. 2 giant squads of Last Cannon chickens. 2 5-man of the Fire and Fade Flappy Boys, Sky Stalkers. 1 of the Battle Clades, that's the Kill Team units. 2 big Infiltrator squads, 1 small Infiltrator squad, 1 small Stalker squad, and an Calidus Assassin. This is deployment. This is only thing you can do on table 6. Search and Destroy. This is a mostly safe spot here. This is not a safe spot because you can be shot down here, and then here you can be shot like here. You can't hide 3 Land Raiders on table 6 really, especially on Search and Destroy. And then I just put a squad of Custodian here. I put 2 in. Actually, I only put 1 in reserve. 1 over here. 1 over here. And then some sisters around. Just doing sister thing. Can't be shot in these spots. He put 15 Infiltrators up here. Some Rangers here. Scout back here and stake his objective. He goes first. a Scatchers over here, another 10-man infiltrator here, and the rest of his army is smattering around here. He went first. I am pretty sure. I don't think I triggered it, but Bryce went first and tried to jail me a lot. I didn't, take picture of it. This is the end of my turn. So what he did is he tried to jail me a lot with some birds here. He put a Caldus here, some birds and stuff over here, stuff over there. So what I did, I was like, I'm going to try and kill your stuff and start taking primary points of stuff away. So I put a Land Raider up here, disembarked it, charged the 5-man. Boom, 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 boom. Beat the crap out of it. Still on the objective. I put a Land Raider over here, disembarked it over here, shot the Caldus' death, beat the crap out of the chickens, not chickens, and whatever you want to call it, not chickens, the Sky Stalker guys. Still on the objective. He shot some chickens into my Land Raider turn 1, didn't kill it. And then I started getting in some las cannon battles with him. I killed one chicken, brought one down to like 1 health. Boom. Turn 2, he tried to do more jailing with some servitors, more flappy boys, tried to kill some more Land Raiders. Bada bing, bada boom. Kill these guys over here. Which he succeeded on. He spent a lot of his army. Like you see, the jazz hand guys came out. He brought some las cannons, some little guys over here, stuff like that. And then he brought some rust stalkers here. His infiltrators keep showing here. The servitor battle clade over here. Like I said, more flappy boys to try and move alchemy some more. Stuff like that. Get some more las cannons and some more las cannon battles. So in turn, I start fighting him back. I bring back the I bring back some squads. I rapid ingress right here on this point and such. I fight I shoot, the rust stalkers. I shoot most of the jazz hands to death. I bring Juxus down here to start pivoting to the bottom on the third and the third, fourth, and fifth turns. I keep my sister safe because they're not doing anything, and I like them to be alive. Land Raider stays here, hangs around, starts having las cannon duels with these chickens, and I start dealing with all his crap. At this point, he's lost a lot of his army. I haven't lost a lot. Like, for instance, why this is like this jazz hand unit with 2 CP, 4 rerolls from call, 4 rerolls from the car, killed 1 custodian guard, and that was kind of like this army does no damage. And to mine, it was like, oh my god. And like one of the biggest issues, kind of an issue, is if you want like any of the value in the army, to get assaulting, to get +1 AP, you need to stay in the +1 weapon skill doctrine. So he's hitting on 4s most of the game. It's really bad with smoke and such. And then finally, to finish out like the game, is I like rapid ingress onto this point again, fully stomped onto this point. Maybe I didn't rapid ingress. Maybe these guys just came forward. These guys live? I can't remember. The squad left, that the turn 1 charge squad, if they lived. I don't think they did. I think he eventually exactly killed them. So I don't know what this squad is for. I don't remember. The only thing I know exactly is I did rapid ingress onto this point on turn 3. But since he's, like I said, he's losing pretty much his whole army at this point, and I have almost everything alive, he finally does one last move block on this unit on like turn 3. I get out, just charge him. That's why they're just right here. Kill him. And then by this point, he consigns himself to just like start running away, and just accept that I'm going to get my points in the last couple turns because he can't stop me at this point. He has lost almost everything. Like he has 3 last chickens left. He has a couple rangers, Scatchos and Carl just screening out a rapid ingress. And he's kind of just not being able to stop me as well. So yeah, that was kind of just the point of my army. And my army is incredibly good in supplies. I have 1 million OC, 1 million durable units, incredibly high dudes. His army is not good at supply, especially going first. So he just did what he could to try to jail me as much as possible. Especially on this is a board that's incredibly favored for him because I'm completely stuck. I can't move. Like this lander is stuck here for this game. He can't get through. This party's too fat. He just chilled. He's like holding his point. So yeah, that was the game. Yeah. All right. Game 3. Round 3. Did we start with Drukhari first? I don't remember what we started with. It was one round that we started with a deployment that wasn't Brian. I instantly hated it. It might have been this one. We might have started with Drukhari to change it up. It looks like we did. And then they started with Sisters first. And we attacked with, it must have been me and World Eaters. That would make the most sense. and accepted world leaders. And Drukhari, it was Admech and something else. I told Ethan, Admech doesn't do a lot of damage. It was also Skitarii Admech, I'm pretty sure. So even less damage. So you can just easily whittle away his army, take him down. He can't do anything about it. He can't do anything about Scourges until he gets close to you. Which is, you know, you can make sure he never can. And then the second drop, I definitely kept getting attacked. Like I kept attacking and they kept throwing me away, and so I got scrummed once again. We could also, I think, almost lost every single one of these except maybe one of the last turn coin flips. Which is kind of annoying. But then we defended Nick. They attacked with, I think, Space Marines and Tyranids, and he just took Tyranids because I told him it could be an incredibly easy matchup. We'll get to that. And then, you know, Space Marines had a duel. This was definitely the forgotten one. I don't know why this one's here. These are the ones that got paired into each other last round. They accepted my Grey Knights, accepted my Custodes at the end. All right. But what happened is I got Purge versus Grey Knights. And I went first. So I was like, this is really annoying. I can't stop him from scoring, you know, a decent amount of points for a while. And we'll get to that on the diffs. All right. So we got me and the Grey Knights. Dan tied the Space Marine Mirror. Ethan beat up the Admech. Nick beat up the Tyranids. And Brian beat the crap out of Sisters. This is a Champions of Faith Sisters. So just 31 wound Sacrosants. It's not very good into 70 Berserkers, to say the least. All right, my opponent, Jordan, playing Warpbane. It's a very normal Warpbane list. This is what our good friend... David. This is what David plays. It's late. He's got Crow, Librarian, 2 Grandmasters, 1 with the +1/+3 OC enhancement. It doesn't matter. 1 squad of 5 strikes, 2 Razorbacks, Last Cannons, 2 5-man Interceptors, a single Land Raider, 1 10-man Purifier, 2 5-man Purifiers, and 1 10-man Subductor Agent Squad. There's the score, 5-15. Like you see, due to it being Purge, and then Grey Knights so they can jump around. I can't really stop him from scoring any amount of primary. It's kind of just impossible. So that's why the diff is a lot higher on his end than it realistically should be. My army hard counters Grey Knights. They, you know, for Feel No Pain. Pretty bad. But, you know, Purge means he can get free points, and I can't, like, stop him from, you know, normally I'll bully someone off primary. I can't do that on Purge. So I just got my points. Also, I had really bad secondaries. I was discarding. I don't put it sometimes if I discard it. I was discarding, but I was just turn 1 I got an okay one. Turn 2 I got a terrible one. Turn 3 I couldn't locus. I had to do other things. I just wasn't getting great secondary, so that's why my score was a little lower. All right, here's our deployment. I think we played on Crucible, or maybe it was a tipping. Let me check real quick. I want to be sure. We were playing Crucible. Okay, so this is like his army can't do any damage to me. At best, these last cannons poke out to like shoot 6 last cannons, winning on 4s against me, and then his units will die. So I know I can just deploy in the line out in the open. There's nothing you can do about it. That's what I did. And then this is also like me scouting and stuff. So I deployed my landers here. I think this game I did put 2 squads in reserve. It's usually 1, but sometimes I feel like if I want the flexible mobility, I'll put 2, the Custodian Guard squads to say. So I went first, like I said. So what I did, this was definitely just a turn 1 movement, is I just moved out. I moved lander out in the middle. Other lander came in behind it, you know, boom, bumper cars. Other lander got on this point, you know, start holding points. I just moved some sister stuff up here. And then I sped around, try to keep my things within range of ores and such. So they all were. His turn 1, he made a fairly big mistake due to him not understanding the sight lanes. He was more of a newer player, so he wasn't able to eye the sight lanes as much. What he did is he brought Crow's squad down here to kill these sisters. That's why he got a purge point in turn 1, which is good. You need to kill the sisters. But the issue is from his little, just because he wasn't using a laser, he didn't expect this Land Raider to be able to just go 10 inches this way, disembark, and shoot the Crow squad, which is exactly what I did. You see, I moved here. This squad came out. The Crow squad was like this. And then, through the Land Raider and double shooting Custodian Guard squad, I killed all Crow's model and brought Crow, I think, to 1 wound. So losing his most valuable resource on his turn 1, my turn 2, was not great for him. I wanted to start killing his resources, so I brought more things out to get aggressive. He has Strike Squad here. I brought some dudes out here. I was knowingly going to lose these units. I was fine with that. I brought this squad out here to come kill. There was something over here. It was just trying to shoot, and I was planning on running back inside after he took his turn, which I think is what I did. I just wanted to shoot some stuff because there was this Razorback over here. Yeah, I came out here, shot the Razorback to death, killed maybe a guy or 2 out of here, and then my plan was just to run back inside if I failed like the 10-inch charge, which of course I did. So, and then to the next turn, he clapped back. He killed the Land Raider. And then I disembarked the squad. I rapid ingress somewhere to like counter out. He brought some Inceptors and stuff out to kill my sisters that were over here and such. Like Inceptors right here, and the fire faded backwards. Because he wanted to just kill my roosters, keep getting kill points up. And he brought a unit, he has a Grandmaster charge this guy who was right here. You see he has Grandmaster over here. He brought like some Purifiers and some Grandmaster. Purifiers to like kill a squad with the Grandmaster and to fight that. He brought down a 5 with my Feel No Pain. And then I fell back. My Land Raider fell back shooting charge. And then I brought the Custodian Guard squad that was right here, plus the other squad, and killed the Purifiers, and the Grandmaster was over here. They lost a lot of stuff by this time, and he felt like I should probably start just running away. The last thing he had was like a Crow and his other Grandmaster that was over here. Yup, he downed it. It came down here, and on like turn 3 or 4, I pivoted back to go kill it. So on like his turn 4 and 5, all he really did was run away to stop me from trying getting some points. And that was the game. All right, another decent win for me. Not another 20-0, but decent win. All right, round 4. Who's this versus? This is versus the 3rd sub-Warp Dust Crusader team, the Tortoise Squad. We went back to starting with Brian, as we do, as I liked. Yeah, I don't think we started with Brian in round 3, and I was like, I'm going back to Brian. They accepted with Custodes. They attacked into him with Custodes and something else. That he was playing an identical list to me. I expressed to Brian, I'm like, this army has no combat interaction besides just the reactive move. So if you can get into combat with the Custodians, they die at Mach 5. They have nothing. It's just T6 Terminators, and you can kill those easily. So like, okay. And I'm like, just go in like the most open board possible that everyone hates. So they took 6, which was good for us. Gets that out of the pool. Due to neither of the armies really having shooting. The Custodian Guard have Land Raiders. They're not great at shooting Berserkers. And then they started with Knights with Nick. We attacked Nick with, I think it was Drukhari and Space Marines, and they took Space Marines because Nick felt like he could beat Dan up quite well. Nick took Table Lake because he wanted to be shot by Dan, and Dan at least took the Crucible aspect, Crucible Terraform. The next pairings, we dropped, I think it was me. I think I defended this round, and they attacked me with Tyranids, and yeah, so they dropped Demons, and we dropped me. So I defended here, one of the few ones I actually defended. And they attacked me obviously with Space Marines and Tyranids. I talked to Nick. I'm like, what do you think you can have a better matchup into? Their Space Marines. I forget what their Space Marine list was. I don't think it was Blades of Ultramar. Actually, I'm going to check real quick because I'm curious. It was Blood Angels. That's why I'm like Space Marines. Yeah, it was a Blood Angel list. And I talked to, I was talking to Ethan. I'm like, it's really just these units. He has these useless Vindicators that you can poke down. They don't do anything to you. And it's just your Vect and your high damage Incubi will be really good here. So he took that. And that just left, eventually left Pantheon of Woe, or not Pantheon, Star Shatter with the Demons. We'll get into that. We attacked it. with Drukhari and Necrons. Was I forgotten? I don't remember. I know we attacked. Demons defended. I defended. We obviously attacked here. And then, yeah, I guess he just ended up playing. He forgotten it. That's what it was. He got forgotten to Blood Angels. They took Necrons out of the pool. I fought Tyranids. There you go. I got it correct. So his is how the matchup was a quite close game. Brian got a decent win into the Custodes. Dan got a close loss into Nick, which was good because that is the very evil Lancer Atropos build that is beating up people. So Dan kept it close. Nick lost into their Chaos Demons player due to not being able to kill any of the demon models. So it was really bad and he got run over. I will get into my game. I beat the Tyranids very handily. And then Ethan beat the Blood Angels. Blood Angels made a few mistakes. I'll reiterate, self-admitted mistakes that he kind of just forgot about the Vect. So Ethan got some very good value about being able to abuse the stratagems he couldn't use anymore. That was really good on Ethan's end. Then my opponent, William, playing Invasion Fleet, is a Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant with the Field and Pain enhancement, a Neuro Tyrant, 10 Gargoyles, 10 Termagants, a Biovore, 2 Execreens, 2 Maleceptors, 1 Neuro Tyrant Lictor, 5 normal Raveners, 2 Tyrant Effects with the Rupture Cannon, 3 Tyrant Guard, and a 3-man Zoanthrope. So there was a fundamental issue that was this game. So the issue of this game was they picked Search and Destroy for me. Because I picked the map, I picked table 1, because that was the only one I could hide on against the big shooting Tyranid list. But he picked Search and Destroy, which Search and Destroy can be bad because you can't physically hide the Land Raiders. I would have to, if I actually wanted to hide, I would have to put one here, one back here, and except one was getting shot. You physically can't hide 3. Or I wanted to play bumper cars back here. I did not want to do that. I was accepting one Land Raider was going to get shot on turn 1, probably die. So that was my plan. I deployed all of them on the line. The issue came up was that he brought out his models. He brought them out. And yeah, he didn't bring them out far. He brought them out to here. But to here on an 18-inch no man's land means you're like 15 inches away. That means with a Land Raider disembark, it's like a 4-inch charge, which is how this game happened. He brought out Tyrant Effects here. His Neurolector was about here. Obviously, these came over here. They were in charge range. And he brought his Zoanthropes here and some other models over here. And what happened is he shot one of my Land Raiders to death turn 1. I disembarked forward. And what happened? I moved forward and fought. I moved this Land Raider forward out here. I brought one up here. And I disembarked. And Draxus disembarked over here. Shot the Zoanthropes to death. Killed him. Charged this Neurolector. Piled into a Maleceptor. And I killed the Tyrant Effects on turn 1. And from that point on, he could not fight me back. He had a Maleceptor that was in combat. It did like 1 2 damage because he swept into a guard, didn't kill it. So he didn't have he lost a Maleceptor shooting. He had these guys over here who could still shoot, obviously. This time he didn't one-shot a Land Raider with 1 Tyrant Effects. And the Execrene, I just ran back in my Land Raider with these guys when he got close. The Execrene did no damage to Land Raider, to very little surprise. He shot these guys to death, but that just meant he essentially was blocked in his DZ on turn 1. He couldn't score any secondaries for the rest of the game, and he essentially got tabled on turn 2. That was really the game. There's not much to talk about here. I don't like having to beat someone into the dirt to make them not score. That's kind of the issue with teams. You can't let your opponent score any points because I don't know if on turn 3 I'm going to be able to score secondaries. Obviously, in hindsight, yeah, I was. But I can't risk a diff point, meaning I could lose. Like in singles, yeah, I would let my opponent score points and just not beat them up as much. But teams, it's a little different beast. So it is kind of a little bit of feels bad, but you kind of have to do that. Like I said, there's a little bit of leeway. Maybe I could have done more. but it was kind of just a fundamental giant mistake that they picked search and destroy. They should not have done this. I think his team told him to, because then I'd be out in the open, but it meant I was super close to him, which is really, really bad. And that was the game. You see, it was a giant 20-0. All right. And so we won the game. It was a close win. So we are 3-1 now. And then last round. This is the 5th round. We started with me? Or was it Dan? We started with Dan. Because, yeah, I think this is the only time. Yeah, because the boys wanted to switch it up. I was like, all right, we'll start with Dan. They attacked with Admech and something else. I expressed the same thing I told to Ethan. They kind of can't do a lot of damage. Especially this one was definitely Skitarii Hunter cohort. And I'm like, they can't do any damage. They just have some cutesy things. And they started with demons. We attacked with me and I think World Eaters. Yeah. That's definitely what it was. They accepted me. They told me outright. They felt like my whole matrix was greens and blues here. I didn't feel like I had a bad match. This is a warrior Necron list with no Catan, by the way. I would beat the crap out of that. They didn't feel like they had any bad matchups. I didn't. And they felt like they, in turn, felt the same. So they just tried to give me a matchup and try to get better matchups otherwise. Next, we defended with, I think, Ethan. And they defended with Necrons. So that forced us, yeah, we did. That forced us to have to attack with Necrons and World Eaters into their Warrior Brick. Obviously, they didn't accept the World Eaters. And they took the Star Shatter, which on the surface should be a decently favored matchup for Warriors. But we got Subterranean Assault into Cowboy Cartel, which on the surface is a decent matchup for them. And unless stuff goes goofy, which can happen with Dark Lances. And then we got Blood Angels into World Eaters. So we have, I would say, favored, incredibly favored, unfavored, on the surface favored, quite favored. And that, did I not have the score for this round? Oh my God. Let me pull it up, guys. I forgot the score for this round. All right, here it is. So Dan got a small win into the Admech. Nick got a giant win into the Mirror, which was very good for Nick because it's unfavored. I fought the ever-living crap out of the Plague Legion. We'll bury the lead, which is an awful matchup for Plague Legion. I have Strength 7 melee. Pretty good at killing great and clean ones. They're just a bunch of Plague Bearers, which are just T5 Marines with bad save. Ethan got beat up by Subterranean Assault due to him saying his Dark Lance essentially whiffed on like turn 2 or 3, and he got run over at that point, which sucks. And then Brian ate the Blood Angels. So it was a very good matchup for us. All right, back to the thing. Okay, so this is Chris' Plague Legion list. I've played Chris a few times and tournaments before. He's a great dude. We had a lot of fun. He usually plays Dark Angels. This time he's playing because he had a Blood Angels player, so he had to play something else. So you have Epidemius, a great and clean one with Fonta Spores. This one I think is a +1 AP enhancement. It's a 6-inch aura, +1 AP. Great and clean one with Dronic Shroud. This is the 18-inch Lone Up aura enhancement. It's the exact same thing Belgor has. It's quite good. 3 Poxbringers. This is an aura of -1 leadership and leadership ability of crits on 5s. They're quite decent. Rodigus, Sloppy Bile Piper with the Canker Blight. Canker Blight is a very silly enhancement. It's an aura of anytime anyone within a range fails a battle shock, they just kill a model instead of taking mortal wounds, as you would for the demon ability. And to say I lost about 10 guys in this ability. Yep. And it's just lose a model. Like, and it's a non-vehicle, non-monster. So if you have like Nekusar Amitari fails on leadership nearby, he's dead. 1 Sloppity Bile Piper, 3 squads of 3 Nurglings, 50 Plague Bearers, and 2 Beasts of Nurgle. Like I said, they even scored even less points. Chris knowingly knew going in this game, this matchup was awful. And the point is, since he defended and I attacked, I got to pick the mission. And I picked hidden supplies. Because I'm really good at hidden supplies, and this army is not so much good at hidden supplies compared to me. Not great. That's why he also scored no primary. So he knew this matchup was awful. He kind of had to do some head melees. which is good. I'm glad he didn't go into this with like expectations that he was gonna win very easily. He knew that it was kind of doomed from the start, which it's just good. He was not salty at all. We had a great fun game, some laughs and all that can happen. The game was very unfortunate for him though. This is after turn 1, so I only reserved 1 squad. I just put everything on the line. This is Crucible, so Land Raider here, Land Raider here, Land Raider here, and they all moved up. Custodian Guard squad like here, moved up. Custodian Guard squad over here, scooted up. These probably moved up too. This is probably right before I moved them. And what happened is I got within range of some stuff. I shot this Land Raider, shot these Nurglings to death with the Witch Seekers, and the small guns shot the Pox. These little duders killed most of the Sloppy Riber squad to try to get rid of his Caker Blight, and then I shot both Land Raiders into his lone op great and clean one. I rolled a decent amount of 5s. He rolled literally no saves except for maybe 1, and that guy died on turn 1 to Land Raider last cannons. It's quite bad. I disembarked Draxus and shot down the line and killed a bunch more Pox Plague Bearers. So on turn 1, I killed like almost 20 Plague Bearers at Great and Clean one before he took his first turn. Not great. And then I came in and disembarked the squad and charged the Beast Nurgle because I wanted to keep him up. I wanted to lock him in combat. I wanted to kill all his stuff as quick as possible. So I did that. Turn 1, his turn 1, he's already on an Omega back foot. He has to try and do Hail Mary. So what he does, he charges the army at me. Makes me take a million saves, million minus 2 saves. That's when I started losing a bunch of guys. Draxus runs back into the car so she doesn't get beat up. This squad did come out here. They were up here. I advanced him out here. He charged some like 20 boys over here, some boys over here. His Rodigus came out, bada bing, bada boom. He killed a good amount of guard. Like I said, I lost so many Kinker Blight, but he couldn't kill any guard. Some like dudes, and this is the end of turn 2. Rodigus essentially gets murdered by 1 Land Raider. I rolled 360, took 21 damage, and then died to a grenade. I killed all the rest of the Plague Bearers, and then all left he had up here was his Rapid Ingress, which I shot to death. And he had just this guy, and he just called the game right here because I was about to table him. And he just had literally just this dude in here who was about to get charged to death by like 10 guard. That was the game. I don't like to say there was no hope. There's essentially no hope, especially me going first. His only hope was him going first with these Nurglings, charge the Landers, get me locked in combat for turn 2, and he starts standing on the objectives. I went first, stood on all the objectives, put him in a really bad spot. All right, everyone. So that is the event. Except let's get back to the beginning. We got 3rd place overall. We got a trophy. I got best overall, which is very cool, especially since, as you saw, I didn't Princess Pair me. Most of the times I attacked. I think I defended once. I just kind of attacked, which is cool. Usually, like I said, the best overall is usually like a team that goes like 2 and 3, and they just Princess Pair a guy who get 520s. Like I said, I didn't do it this time, which is really cool. So I'm quite proud of myself. John came close. It looks like he had a slightly contentious last game. Not contentious, but one where he didn't completely stomp his last game, which makes sense because they're vying for first place. Obviously, his last place game should be harder than mine. But it was cool. I'm very proud of my team. This is our first, we technically went to Cherokee together. It was our first team outing. We got 3rd, and, we got 3rd by playing, getting beat by these guys round 2. So it's not like we got beat by a quote unquote bad team, which is really cool. Overall, I'm pretty proud of the guys. Like I said, we were also mostly hodgepodge last minute. We weren't really preparing as much. We were trying to get everything inundated and working together, and Ethan and Brian essentially came in last minute. So not everything was finalized because, like I said, this was the Warped Doors Crusaders' first event, but a lot of the team was already paired for teams before the team was even made. Like Nick's on our team, Dustin's on our team, stuff like that, but they were on other teams for this event. So that's going to be finalized next time. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope it was informative to you guys. And to reiterate on the beginning stuff, if you did like this video, please like it. Please tell your friends, all that jazz. Tell the people, make a comment, all that jazz. It does immensely help. If you need any coaching, hit me up in the Discord. It's pinned in the bottom. My name is just my name on Discord, Steve Trimble. So send me a PM and we can work it out. Anything you need. All right, everyone. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for watching.